right, we'd like to welcome to the 24 Texas Children's Houston Open World Number 1, Scottie Scheffler coming in off 2 victories, Arnold Palmer in the Players Championship. Congratulations on those. Nice to have you back here. It's your 5th start at the Houston Open, but your 4th here at Memorial Park. So I guess I'd start with saying, how different does the course look this year compared to other years?
Yeah, it's significantly different. I think the changes are good. Golf course in good shape. The overseed came in nicely, and the greens are rolling really good. Typically, this tournament always had really good greens, but sometimes they struggle a little bit with the surrounds of the greens. And so this year, having the overseed, they got good turf growth, and yeah, it's in really good shape.
So, as I mentioned, you've won your last 2 events. You've had a week off, but now you're coming in to try and win a 3rd consecutive tournament. You'd be the first since 2017 to do that. What sort of challenge is that for you? How do you like that? What do you think your position is in this week's tournament to do that?
Yeah, I don't really think much about that kind of stuff. I had a good rest week at home last week. I was pretty worn out after Bay Hill and Players, and so it was nice to get home and just relax. And I didn't do nearly as much practice as I typically would have in the last week. So coming in, shaking off a little bit of rust the last couple of days, but game feels like it's in a good spot. So feel rested and ready to go this week.
All right. Well, we'll get some questions. We'll get a mic to you as soon as we can. I think he's just over here on the right. So we'll walk that over. Anybody who wants to go first? All right.
I can hear you, Kev.
Well, hang on a second. Let's just get it so because they won't get it. Just hand it to Kev and we'll get going. Thanks.
Yeah, I played it today. I think it's a good change. I think they had tried to move the tee box up a couple times in the last few years to make it drivable, and with the way the green was, it just wasn't a hole that you would really try to drive. But now the way the green is shaped, with have an area where you can run it up, I think when they'll have the tee box moved up on the weekend, it should be a pretty exciting way to finish off the tournament. And so I think the changes there are really good.
And with the overseed, how specifically do you think it'll change how the course plays, I guess, off the tee and then around the green?
Yeah, the last few years playing around this place, there was a big premium on driving accuracy, which I think for a long golf course like this was really good. This year it's a bit different with the overseed. They just really did not put in much rough at all, which is a bit different. So it used to be some holes where it was really, really important to hit the fairway, especially with the Bermuda rough. And now there's not as much of a premium placed on that, so you'll see a lot more drivers, people hitting it really far, and then it'll be much more of, I'd say, a second shot golf course this time around.
Okay.
There were a bunch of people who, at least on social media, I know you don't pay too much attention to that, making a fuss about you shaving the beard after 2 straight wins. I know you kind of mentioned back, and I think it was the Players, that it was just a little bit of laziness. Is that just cleaning it up, I guess?
Well, yeah, it was nice because I didn't have to think about it, but then my beard got so long that it became work. And last week I got a haircut, and then I was thinking about trying to trim it, but I didn't really know how, and so I just shaved it.
I know you're about to be a new dad out here. Has there been any guys that you maybe asked an opinion, or what's the best advice you've gotten about this kind of new chapter in your life that you got coming up?
I got a good group of guys to kind of bounce things off of, and I think that's one of the coolest things is how excited everybody gets for us, when they find out we're having a baby, and everybody just says it's the greatest thing in the world. And I think that's really cool. I mean, that's pretty much the unanimous response from everybody. Sometimes you get mixed responses when you're getting married and stuff like that. But anytime somebody hears that we're pregnant, they just get really excited. You can kind of see their face light up, and it's really cool.
All right.
Yeah, Scottie, obviously at Victory Sunday, the ultimate.
Use the mic.
But what would you like to see from your game this week?
I think just more of the same. I want to, approach this week with a good attitude, hit good shots. As far as what I want to see out of my game, obviously I'm going in the tournament hoping to play well, and so that would be a good result. But at the end of the day, I'm focused on attitude and executing shots and stuff like that.
Hey, Scottie, Peter Monetti was just in here, and he was talking about the course and said it has a feel of a muni, and he means that as a compliment, because you don't play too many municipal golf courses on tour. You think it has that muni feel to it, and it's in a good way?
I think it's really cool that we can come play a golf course that anybody can come play. I think that's what's special about coming to this place. I think that's a really cool aspect of it. As far as Muni feel, I don't really know exactly what Peter's going after there with that comment. But like I said, it's nice coming to a place that anybody can come play, and especially for the locals that live here, I think it's a pretty fair price as well. And so I'm amazed at how good a shape it's in, really, for a golf course that's run by the city and a municipal golf course. It's in fantastic shape this year, and so we're excited to play, excited to be back here in Houston, and excited for the week.
So when since it's been overseeded, now it's not in the fall, it's in the spring. So when you first got here and looked at the course, what did you think when you first saw the difference?
Yeah, I was amazed with how well the overseed came in. So that was a nice pleasant surprise. You never really know what to expect when the golf course changes significantly like that. But the maintenance team here did a great job. Great turf coverage. The areas around the greens, like I said, are in a lot better shape than they had been in years past. I mean, the greens are still really good again, but the surrounds is where I've seen the biggest difference. And then I think I was just a bit surprised. I think with the lack of rough, I think they're probably trying to make it like Augusta. So I guess that's a good thing for prep work.
You're a proud Texan, and is this a tournament that, I mean, things change. You never can plan for the future, but is this something that's going to be like on your schedule that you really kind of want to play every year? I
like trying to support as many events as I can in my home state. Like you said, I definitely am a proud Texan, and so I like to do what I can to support the events here at home. And so, yeah, it's good to be back. I don't know what my schedule will look like going forward, but I definitely like trying to support the events here in Texas as much as I can.
Scottie, congratulations on your success. You are so good when you're in a hunt. You can hunt titles. You're going for a tournament title. What's it like to be the hunted number one in the world? And do you feel like you're the hunted? The spotlight's on you, and no matter what's happening, people are looking to you? I
wouldn't say I feel like that too much. When you show up at a tournament being number one, I don't start at 1 under. I don't start at 2 under. I started even. So, you got to approach every week the same. You got to put in the same amount of work. You got to show up prepared. And like I said, I'm excited to play this golf course. Excited for the week. Really pleasantly surprised with how good a shape the golf course is in. So I think it's gonna be really fun to play, and I think it'll be good prep to see how my game is going into the Masters.
Can we hand the mic, slide it down this way again? We'll just go back. Thanks.
Yeah, Scottie, Rory's not playing this week. He is playing next week. You're playing this week. Then have you changed how you prepare for a major? At one time, no one played the week before a major. Now Rory's playing the week before. Have you changed the way you prepare for a major?
I've done it different ways in the past. Some years I've played before Augusta. The year I won Augusta, I did not play going into it. But as far as this year goes, I'm scheduled to not play next week, so I have a week off for a major. But then some of the other majors I'm playing the week before. I think maybe U.S. Open I'm playing the week before. PGA, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to make it, with baby coming. But in a typical year, I would have played the week before that one as well. It just depends. I think I'm still kind of figuring out what works best for me. The only thing I know that I don't like is taking a long break before a major. So with the way the schedule was this year, 3 weeks off before playing the Masters would have been a bit too much time for me. I usually like to play a tournament, within a couple weeks of a major.
You didn't play the week before you won the last time at the Masters. Is that going to figure into, maybe plan that again?
I didn't really put a ton of thought into it. I remember that the year I won the Masters, I won the match play. And the year before that, I had played well in the match play and made it to the finals. I ended up losing to Billy in the finals that week. And then I played San Antonio, and I showed up to the Masters, and I was completely whipped still. And so the next year, in 2022, I was still scheduled to play Austin, San Antonio, and the Masters. Like I said, I try to support events in my home state. And after making it to the finals of match play again that year, I didn't want to go into the Masters, tired like I had the year before. And so that was why I took it off, just because Austin had been such a long week, and then, ended up playing good at the Masters. And so I guess you could say it worked. I don't really know if that's necessarily the secret sauce, but it was definitely nice being rested going into the Masters. And so I've taken the same approach in the last couple of years.
Kevin?
Chandler Phillips told a fun story yesterday of you in high school kind of having hurt your ankle playing basketball and then winning states kind of with having to tilt your foot a little bit. Do you recall this, and what's your recollection of that
Yeah, I remember that. I was playing some pickup basketball with my buddies like a week or so before, and I rolled my ankle running down the court. Oddly enough, we were playing outside, and I think I stepped on one of those like giant acorns because all my buddies were freaking out. They're like, "I heard a pop," and I was like, "My ankle's not broken, guys." Like, and so yeah, I ended up playing in sneakers with an ankle brace on. It was tough because it was my left ankle, so getting through the ball was really tough. I think it would have been easier if it was my right ankle because I could have just posted up into it, but the left one really like spins and rolls out. And so what I did, if my ankle usually, or my foot usually sits this way, I just turned it out like that and kind of stayed on my back foot and just used my hands mostly. And yeah, I think I had a slow first round, but I played really good in the second round, ended up winning. And I think our team won that year as well. So it was fun times.
And one more, it's been 5 years since kind of your parting thoughts on the Korn Ferry Tour were about the best part of life and sharing it with people around you and kind of building those relationships. And obviously a lot has changed for you in life since that year. But what's kind of your recollection of, I guess, do you still feel that way, and how important is it to kind of maintain those close relationships through the craziness that life might have?
Yeah, I would say I definitely stand by that statement. It's funny. It seems like, you'd think my life would have changed a lot, but really it only has changed out here at home. It hasn't really changed that much. That'll change significantly the next month when our baby comes. That'll be the big change. But at home, no, we still have the same friends. We still have a great support system. And, it's really special to be able to go home and celebrate with friends. Winning is fun, but it only lasts a few seconds, after the win, or a few minutes, I should say. And then you got to go start doing all the other stuff, so you don't really get to soak it in too much. But when you get home and you get to celebrate with people and those that were closest to it, those really are the most special times. And, it was nice to get a bit of that last week.
Okay.
In the last two editions of the Players, you've kind of had a big lead with people chasing you, and then obviously a couple weeks ago you had to catch up to the leaders who were way in front of you. Do you enjoy one of those more than the other, whether you're protecting a big leaguer guy and have to chase it down?
Not really. I don't think it makes a huge difference in which one I would like more. I guess I would like being in the lead more because it would be a little bit easier to win than starting from way behind. Being in the lead, you'd just statistically be more likely to win. I think the most fun is just being in contention. I mean, that's, I think, the most fun that we have on the golf course. It's definitely what we always are working towards. And when you're out there and you get all the adrenaline going and you're right in the heat of the tournament, I think those are the most fun times in our sport. And so I try and get up there as much as I can.
Do you expect scores this week to maybe be a tad bit lower than they've been in the past just because the rough maybe isn't as penal?
I think so. I think this golf course, you had to hit fairways out here. You just had to. With the way the greens are elevated and with the runoffs and with the way the rough was, you had to hit fairways. Now there's not as much of a premium on that, but I think we're supposed to get some pretty good wins over the weekend. And I think Friday afternoon, the winds are supposed to pick up. So the golf course is still really, really challenging. I think it's just going to be challenging in a bit of a different way this year.
Scottie, you shot 62 in round 2 here in 2021 to tie the tournament record. What do you recall from that round, and is there something that might help you from recalling that round this week? Or is it too long ago?
I did not remember that until you just told me that. I guess my only real comments on that would be it is a golf course, kind of like any golf course, any challenging golf course, I think, where when you start playing well, you can still shoot low scores. And so it's kind of one of those places where you got to be patient and kind of wait for you to get hot and then try to take advantage of it as best you can. The winning scores here are typically not crazy low, so it's nice that you don't have to come out of the gates, guns blazing, ready to roll. You can kind of get settled into the tournament. Pars, I kind of like the tournaments a bit more when pars a good score. You don't feel like you're losing when you're making pars. So I definitely appreciate that aspect of this golf course.
All right. We appreciate your time. Good luck this week.
All right. Thanks, y'all.